Bleach Thousand-Year Blood War is an anime filled with remarkable abilities, insane fight scenes, and heart-wrenching stories. From iconic characters like Kenpachi to legendary characters like Yamamoto. Let us witness the epic battle between Quincy's and Soul Reapers to understand the depth of this show. After the awakening of the Quincy King, souls began to rampage throughout the land, forcing the Soul Society to deal with the matter. They sent in 2 soldiers with a sibling complex to scout the region. Seeing as how weak they were, the souls made quick work of them, making them look like fools. Luckily, the cavalry came to save the day. Ichigo and his gang were not in the mood to play rock, paper, scissors. And despite being trapped and outnumbered, they showed the depth of their skills and mastery by removing the threat without breaking a sweat. After going all out, they treated the injured Soul Reaper to a good meal and a cozy bed. Everyone joined in and started chatting about the latest trend on TikTok. Just then, a creepy figure approached through a window. Looks like the Jehovah's Witnesses have upgraded. However, Ichigo put his black belt to good use by kicking the intruder out and chasing him. Newsflash, Ebern was a Quincy, an extinct race of warriors who were eliminated a while back. Meanwhile, back in the Soul Society, the strongest character of the show, the head of the Gote 13, Yamamoto faced intruders in his office. Not only that, but they killed his right-hand man, Sasaki-be, in front of him. The level of disrespect is on a whole other level, and to spit on his face even more, they declared war and told him to prepare. Using his flash step, he got close enough to blast them to Kingdom Come. Unfortunately, they vanished right before this spectacular attack hit. Ichigo, on the other hand, was having a hard time dealing with the Quincy. After studying all his attacks, he decided to use his trump card. As soon as he activated his Bankai, the secret weapon of Soul Reapers, Ebern tried stealing it. Unfortunately, it didn't work, and he was hit head-on with a powerful Getsuga Tensho. As soon as Ichigo cornered him, the shadowy figure appeared again and teleported him elsewhere. Talk about a cowardly move. Meanwhile, in Hueco Mundo, we met the big bad wolf of the franchise, the Quincy King, Yamamoto, who was terrorizing his subordinates. Man, talk about an evil dictator. Back in the real world, the new kid on the block was growing anxious about Ichigo, while everyone was relaxed. They knew Ichigo would never lose, and there you have it. He popped up looking confident and ready. Suddenly, they received a report from the Soul Society of the attack they had incurred. Several soldiers had died, including Lieutenant Sasaki-be. Everyone was heartbroken. Ichigo, Orihime, Seido, and even Uryu. They were left confused until one day, a mysterious character dropped from the sky, crashing into Ichigo. Look who it was, Nell showed up. She reveals how Hueco Mundo has been captured and cries to Ichigo for help. On the other side of the realm, Yamamoto was cleaning up the mess by eliminating the weak fodder. You wouldn't want to get on this guy's bad side. He is like the Darth Vader of Bleach, powerful and scary. While all this is going on, a funeral is being held inside the Zaraki, with all the head captains and Soul Reapers in attendance. In the real world, they start narrating the horrors that went down in Hueco Mundo and the tragedies that befell Lady Halibel. This scene looks like it was taken straight out of a nightmarish novel. How will Ichigo and his gang fight someone as powerful as that? Regardless, Ichigo has already set up his mind about helping them, even though Ishida refused to join. Out of nowhere, Urahara popped up from the window. People have got to stop arriving unannounced. Being the smartest character in the franchise, he creates a portal to lead them to Hueco Mundo, where they find a bunch of soldiers massacred on the ground. Inside this vast wasteland, the Stern Ritters, soldiers of Yamamoto, have taken hostages for their amusement and start killing them one after the other. Damn, these people are savages. Luckily, 3 felines came to the rescue in hopes of saving what remained of their kind. Unfortunately, by the time our boy got there, the trio were defeated by the Nazi freak who sent his goons after Ichigo. He was surprised to see so many Quincy's all in one place, and powerful ones too. Quite the formidable opponents, if you ask me. Back at the Zaraki, the captains gathered for an important meeting to discuss the incoming war. Old Man Yama ordered all the barracks to get ready and be on their toes. Meanwhile, Ichigo seems to be handling the Nazi freak really well. It seems that he was given orders by Yamamoto to eliminate any and all threats, and as a result, he used his secret technique to gain the upper hand. Just then, His Majesty arose from his throne and declared the start of the invasion. It's about to go down, don't go anywhere. Till then, let's see how well our boy is doing against the Nazi freak. Man, things don't seem well. Where did all his power disappear to? Oh wait, never mind. The trio got back up and launched a counterattack. I bet you didn't see that coming. Looks like the monster is giving him the Hulk treatment. However, the Nazi freak isn't backing down without a fight. he gathered all the reishi around him to strengthen himself even more. What a monstrous move. I like it. Back in the real world, Ishida stumbled upon the history of Soul Reapers and Quincy's and was enlightened by the truth. As all this was happening, His Majesty arrived at the Soul Society looking to make history. Flaming pillars of reishi burst throughout the Sarate as all the soldiers looked on helplessly. Old Man Yama was high above looking cool, as always. Just then, Baz B started the onslaught by making a mockery out of everyone. Bleach does not disappoint. It seems that over 1,000 Soul Reapers have already died since the start of the invasion. You can tell that they are outclassed in every means possible. They are literally getting butchered left and right. There is some hope, at least. The captains have stepped up to deal with the Stern Ritters. Well, who do you have your odds on? While Renji was growing helpless fighting Stern Ritter F, Byakuya Kuchiki showed up walking nonchalantly. And as you would have it, his attacks managed to cut him for a change. Not only that, but he also trapped Stern Ritter S. Now that's what I call efficiency. In my opinion, his Senbanzakura is one of the most deadliest Shikei in Bleach. It looks good, feels awesome, and does well in attack and defense. On the other side of the battle, the beautiful Stern Ritter E was dealing with Captain Sajin. And Stern Ritter, I was stuck with the prodigy Hitsugaya. The gorgeous Soy Fawn had to deal with Stern Ritter K. And by the way, if you're confused, the Stern Ritters possess an alphabet because their power was derived from Yuhabaha, and each of them has unique abilities and status according to their letters. That being said, let's take a moment to behold the beauty of Byakuya's Bankai, Senbanzakura Kageyoshi. Hold on just a minute, don't tell me all 4 captains had their Bankai stolen, their ultimate technique. Things do not seem well. The outstandingly seductive Rangiku quickly informed everyone of the new development. All of them were left bewildered. Things were not looking well for the Soul Society. In fact, they were on the losing side. Since push came to shove, they called Urahara looking for help. As a result, he quickly dispatched the Nazi freak in one shot and opened a portal for Ichigo to go save them. Let's see if our boy is up to the task. Unfortunately, Ichigo's path was blocked, and he got locked up by the Nazi freak. What an unexpected twist to the story. An announcement was broadcast in the Soul Society, letting them know Ichigo was coming and that his Bankai couldn't be stolen. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief as the protagonist was on his way. However, inside the broadcast station, they noticed that Ichigo was locked away and began to grow anxious. Suddenly they were attacked and left helpless. Ichigo tried his best to escape the cage, but he was unable to break the Quincy spell and was left devastated, sensing his camaradas dwindle. Back in Hueco Mundo, it is revealed that the Nazi freak is actually Stern Ritter J, and he set his sights on killing Orihime. Out of nowhere, a devastating slash slices him into 2. You never know what's going to happen in this show. It's fast-paced and enthralling. We are taken back to the Soul Society where Byakuya is struggling to fight Stern Ritter F without his Bankai. F goes on a long rant, explaining how he controls fear, and his attacks are imbued with them affecting anyone on contact. The captain shrugs it off, assuming he is without fear, and leaps into action. However, he sees a vision of Rukia, his sister, as a corpse, and incurs a brutal attack. Then we get scenes straight out of the Devil's Playbook with demonic bugs crawling onto his body. Just when he thought the worst was over, F, also known as Asnut, uses his Bankai against him. Now isn't that cruel? Using someone's weapon against them. Rukia gets distracted by this and also receives a deadly blow. And need I remind you, the flower petals are as strong as steel. So imagine the pain Byakuya is going through taking the attacks head on. Renji was blown away by Stern Ritter S man. All of them are dropping like flies, huh? We at least have some good news. Our main man, Kenpachi Zaraki, was cleaning up the place, dealing with 3 Stern Ritters. Now that is what I call power. He split Stern Ritter R like it was a birthday cake, gouged out Stern Ritter Q's throat when he couldn't stop blabbering, and even improved to defeat Stern Ritter Y, who was capable of mimicking powers. With this newfound confidence, he dared attack His Majesty. Bold move, Kenpachi, bold move. But here is the moment you have all been waiting for, the arrival of the main boss, Yamamoto Genryusai. A quick flashback is shown of how he met his subordinate Sasakibe and how he developed his Bankai. This cocky Stern Ritter, decided to use his subordinate's Bankai to attack him. I mean the level of disrespect. With one attack, Yama literally burnt him to ashes and joined the party in a blazing entrance. After Kenpachi's defeat, the man of the hour came down roaring, looking to make things even. His speed was incomprehensible, and his gaze was menacing. The aura of the man who was bestowed fire was an explosive art radiating the environment and vanquishing his enemies. The arena was engulfed in flames, and the warrior of the divine struck the first blow. The splattered blood evaporated in the presence of greatness, as his wrath grew rampant. The old guardian of hell was back, and he was back with a vengeance. With an agenda to slice and burn everything in sight. His movements were sleek and his attacks devastating. In terms of speed or power, he was truly unrivaled. His majesty truly met his match, forcing him to draw his blade. Despite losing an arm, Yama's single arm was able to condense his entire fire. All the flames you saw were gone, but for some reason, it was still hot and humid. Dry skin and parched throats. Every drop of water within the entire Sarate was evaporating. And you've seen how big the Soul Society actually is. Yama's sword changed its complexion and function. His ultimate technique, the scorched blade of hell, made its appearance, sealing all of his flames into a single sword. As time has passed, his flames have increased, and so has the power of his Bankai. To prove this, the old man gently caressed the ground with his sword and obliterated the foundation of the land. Everything he touches explodes on contact and disintegrates. Zanka no Tachi East. The ability to destroy anything it touches. With a swing of a sword, he can remove matter and eradicate essence. Yamamoto was left speechless and swordless, and the words he said will forever be engraved in the Hall of Fame. Is that not a real G? The boss fight we were all expecting. By God, Zanka no Tachi West is even as epic. Heat reaching up to 15 million degrees Celsius. It's like being enveloped by the sun. How do you even fight something like this? Is he a devil or an angel? What is he? In a pit of desperation, Yamamoto formed a defensive parameter in hopes of defending against his attack. Little did he know the old man was about to resurrect the dead and form a zombie militia. Lo and behold, brethren, Zanka no Tachi South, a biblical attack worthy of the guardian of hell. The Angel of Fire attempts to end the battle after torturing the villain of the story. Yamamoto starts seeing images of his former comrades. The deception of the corpses leaves him traumatized and in severe mental agony. Even so, he moves forward, stepping on the corpses of his comrades. This is the resolve I've always wanted. However, when you face off against the divine, you are bound to receive divine punishment in the form of Zanka no Tachi North, a power designed to vanquish anything and everyone. As Yuha's decapitated body laid there, all the evaporated water precipitated in the form of rain. Wait a minute. What's that blue light emanating from behind? Oh no, don't tell me the real Yamamoto just arrived. All the while he was fighting a clone, and the real one met up with Aizen. Oh no, something smells fishy here. Aizen is a universal threat. What does His Majesty have in plan? Overthrowing the divine government? Wait a minute, please don't tell me Zanka no Tachi was stolen? No, that's not fair. He can't do that. Wait, what's that blue light descending from the heavens? No, don't do it. Stop right there. Oh God, this isn't happening. Did old man Yama really die? Someone tell me this is an illusion. How can the Angel of Fire die? How is that even possible? Oh wait, we got another flashback of the previous Gotei 13 captains. If it isn't Prime Yamamoto, looking like he is about to slay a dragon. Now that is what I call unstoppable. In the present day, the old man drew his last breath and fell to the ground. Captain Shunsui got caught lacking, and Yamamoto started gloating on top of his fallen nemesis. He started explaining how he's grown weaker through time and has become more lenient and caring. He then proceeds to obliterate his body, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Now that His Majesty arrived, the Stern Ritters launched a full-scale attack on everyone. Dead bodies everywhere. Explosions and destruction throughout the Sarate. It was disappointing to behold. However, Ichigo finally broke out of his enclosure, and everyone was shocked to sense his presence. Using his flash step, he quickly made his way to a dying Byakuya, who gave him words of encouragement and commanded him to move on. His spiritual pressure raged on as he boldly attacked Yamamoto without reservation. Without further introductions and formalities, Ichigo launched the full scale of his powers and went berserk fighting the Chosen One. The skies were lit ablaze in their glory, but despite his best efforts, our boy fell short and was almost decapitated had it not been for his Quincy blood. Yuha revealed that his attempts to break out of the cage awakened his inner Quincy potential, which he inherited from his mother. Our boy was left speechless. Regardless, Yuho was ready to end it, and just as he was about to strike the final blow, the mysterious shadow emerged, teleporting all the Stern Ritters back to headquarters. Ichigo tried to stop them, but had his sword broken by Haschwalth, the second in command. After the battle was over, medics ran around looking for survivors, trying to save anyone they could. Captain Unohana was devastated at the results and conveyed her bitter emotions. Ichigo was all patched up and well. He was told that Rukia and Renji were in stable condition and went in to check up on them. Rukia thanked him for helping the Soul Society when they needed it the most. He was then summoned to take a look at his Zanpakuto, which is a Soul Reaper's sword, by the way. The Shikai is its base ability and Bankai is its ultimate technique. Meanwhile, the remaining captains were mourning the death of their leader. Nothing remained of him besides fragments of his sword. It was also revealed that Kenpachi and Byakuya survived. Captain Shunsui took charge and started handing out orders to everyone. It seems that Ichigo's sword was broken beyond repair and he didn't know what to do. Just then, a report came announcing the arrival of Squad Zero. Everyone went outside to meet the guardians of the royal palace who descended from the heavens above. As they went out, they gave off a goofy vibe, shocking everyone in attendance. They tried touching base and conversing in a civilized manner until Soi Fan went on a rant and had to be silenced. Man, these guys must be crazy strong. They gathered all the injured in a blink of an eye and demanded Ichigo to go with them. Urahara and Oriheim appeared on a screen behind them in order to motivate Ichigo to move forward. And there they went, launching into the sky like a rocket. Soon enough, they arrived at the royal palace. So basically, there is Earth, the Soul Society, where the deceased transitions to, and the royal palace where the Soul King abides, the deity of the universe. Make sense? Everyone was getting healed inside the sacred pool, and after a while, Ichigo and Renji were the first ones out. Having succeeded their first mission, they were sent to the next phase. Back the Soul Society, Captain Shunsui was elected as head captain. His first order of business was to strengthen Kenpachi, and to do that, he called in a favor from Captain Unohana. Meanwhile, inside the main hall of the royal palace, Ichigo and Renji were given an entire buffet to eat all alone. Their appetite knew no bounds as they kept on gobbling up everything in sight. If eating wasn't enough to satisfy them, the haughty chef, Hikifune, treated them to an exquisite-looking cake. Talk about a lucky encounter. She then explained to them what they were supposed to do and sent them on their way. While all this was happening, Kenpachi Zaraki entered the battle arena where he met Unohana, one of the deadliest killers of the previous Gotei 13. As soon as they laid eyes on one another, they swung their swords with conviction and resolve. However, despite Kenpachi's legendary strength, he was severely outclassed by Unohana's brilliance. She kept on cutting him left and right until she disarmed his sword and left him defenseless. Do you think Kenpachi has a chance against her? Amidst their battle, Kenpachi kept on blacking out and getting lost in thought and memories. He kept on remembering his past memories hundreds of years ago, where he kept on racking up mountains of corpses and met Unohana on the battlefield. That was when he gave her the scar and where she first acknowledged his potential. Ever sickly then, he had been hindering his strength since he didn't meet a worthy opponent. But here they are at last. Two outstanding warriors meeting on the battlefield once again, fighting to the death. An epic battle of mortal combat. Just then, Captain Unohana activated her Bankai. She was able to wield blood as her technique, and kept on launching deadly projectiles at Kenpachi. Despite her impeccable technique, Kenpachi's speed and power kept on growing. He was evolving amidst battle, tapping into his greatest potential. His love for fighting had finally exceeded Unohana's ability to heal herself or keep up. Even though she defeated him back then, he got an upper hand this time. As he ran his blade through her, he felt empty and worthless, having lost a worthy opponent. What an honorable death and a noteworthy fight scene. Back at the royal palace, Ichigo and Renji met up with Etsu Nimaya, the creator of Zanpakutos. So this guy makes those legendary swords? How cool is that? He puts them through a test, and after a while informs Ichigo that he is not fit to be a Soul Reaper and sends him back to Earth. Ouch, that must sting. After being teleported to Earth, he went to his father searching for truths of his origin. His pap starts narrating the story of how he met his mother. Back then, he was a squad captain in charge of Rangiku and Hitsugaya. One day, there was a hollow attack which he had to contend with. As powerful as he was, the hollow seemed a tad bit stronger and he was struggling to keep up, until a Quincy girl showed up and lured the hollow in to bite her. She then proceeded to blast it away, saving the day and showing the spirit who is boss. Afterward, everything seemed to have returned to normal. She went to school and upon her return, she collapsed on the ground. It seems that the hollow bite had infected her organs. Fortune came knocking in the form of Urahara, who suggested a mechanism to treat the illness that would cause the powers of the Soul Reaper to be sealed. Since she saved him back then, he did not hesitate to sacrifice his own life and jumped inside the Hollow's realm to save her. As time passed, they started hanging out with one another and formed a strong bond between them. Things were going well until one day, she was fighting a Hollow and lost her Quincy abilities, resulting in her death. It turns out that was the day Yamamoto returned and started his selection process. After hearing the truth, Ichigo was ready to return to the royal palace and was teleported there immediately. Upon arriving, he took the test again, and this time, he passed with flying colors. Back at the Soul Society, everyone was working hard preparing for the next invasion. Even Captain Hitsugaya, who had lost his Bankai. Soifon was doing one-hand push-ups up in the mountains. Mayuri was up to his shenanigans, and Sajin went back to his elder looking to make a deal with the devil. Ichigo was approached by Etsu to test out his new Zanpakuto and determine whether he was worthy to wield it. He entered into the spiritual realm and started conversing with it. After making peace with his demons, he came out looking stronger than ever before. On the other hand, Uryu went to Yuhabaha and bent the knee. Wah! I did not see that coming.